latest episode of Gallifrey Private Radio. I am your host, Davey Beauchamp, and I'm continuing the exploration into and primer into the various doctors. This time we're talking about the Sixth Doctor, portrayed by Colin Baker. Um, he was the Doctor from March 16th of 84 through December 6th of 86. He had two companions, Perry Brown and Mel. He had basically two series, a total of 8 stories, which equals out to 31 episodes. Very, very small run, and there's lots of reasons for that, and we'll get to that a little later. This Doctor is most famously known for his multicolored coat. And because basically JNT wanted something totally different in this Doctor, and it started at the very essence, the very core, with his outfit, especially the coat, which a lot of people did not like at the time. I think it's really, really grown on people. And for when they were doing the comic series, they did have to make some changes due to the difficulties of printing that many colors with that many odd patterns. It just wasn't something that worked all that well. So they turned his outfit, looked very similar to it, but all blue. With his companions, Perry, the Doctor and Perry had a very interesting dynamic that we really hadn't seen before. They fought like an old married couple all the time, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Mel tried to get the Doctor in shape, especially this Doctor. Always with the carrot juice, riding the exercise bike. But the interesting thing with both Perry and Mel is we don't know how Mel really became a companion, and we don't really know how Perry left, because the Doctor's memories were being tampered with during the trial of the Time Lord. So there's some open points where we don't have the full history as official canon, but sort of canon. And I'll get into that later. But like I said, J&T wanted something really different this Doctor, and I think we got it. I don't think, like I said, the public in general understood it. I don't think the BBC got it. And I don't really think, at least in his first series of stories, I don't even think Colin actually got it or hit his stride with what they wanted out of the Doctor, because the BBC started trying to actually kill the Doctor, putting him on hiatus, not letting him know when it was coming back. It was a real mess for Doctor Who at the time, and J&T was sort of put in a spot. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but basically it came down to if you leave the show, if you try to leave the show, J&T, we're going to cancel the show. And so he was sort of forced with this balancing act, and they also wanted Colin gone because Colin just wasn't getting the ratings. But it's a real shame because I think, like I said, in his first series of episodes, he wasn't hitting his stride. But during Trial of the Time Lord, I mean, he really hit his stride as a Doctor and was giving some incredible performances. I mean, I think some of the best in his tenure on television with the Doctor. And with the way the BBC was, showing Doctor Who and not showing Doctor Who, they sort of claimed that Colin had his 3 years, and that once the actor hits 3 years, it's time to bring in somebody new, even though the math and stuff isn't exactly there saying that he had his 3 years. But yeah, there was a lot of bad blood between Colin, J&T, BBC, where J&T eventually sided with the BBC just so they wouldn't cancel the show. And like I said, I think it's a real shame that Colin didn't get a chance to do more because I think he really did hit his stride. Um, and that's one of the reasons why we don't have in an actual regeneration episode. Sort of McCoy filled in for the Pirate Baker when they did the regeneration scene, because the BBC. I mean, Colin pretty much said I would do the regeneration scene if you gave me something leading up to it. But they wouldn't give him a season or a series. They wouldn't give him a story. They wouldn't give him an episode leading up to it. So I mean, I can't find fault. He just basically said, no, I am not going to do the regeneration, um, and it's a shame um, that he got treated so poorly at that time. And I have to say, and this is me jumping back to some of the gaps and holes in his run as the Doctor, um, but it's really thanks to the Big Finish audios that Colin really gets to play the part of the Sixth Doctor, and his audio adventures are some of the best Doctor Who audios out there. I enjoy them thoroughly because I mean we got to spend time with Peter Davison as the Fifth Doctor. We got to spend quite a bit of time as with the Seventh Doctor and McCoy. And this is Big Finish really gives Colin a chance to shine as a Doctor, and I'm so glad he's been able to. I mean, his audio adventures are incredible, and it's also in the audio in these audio adventures, we find out more about what actually happened to Perry. We actually get to find out, how he met Mel and how Mel left. Um, and even though these aren't official TV canon, I think they're pretty much as close to canon as possible because after talking to John Ainsworth, not only do, once they come up with the story idea, they have to get it approved by the BBC. Then once they do the script, they have to get it approved by the BBC. And then once the audio is produced, they have to get okayed by the BBC and the Doctor Who team. So and I think in a lot of ways, this stuff is canon because I don't think we're ever going to go back and touch on these subjects. So yeah, I mean, it's great that this stuff is pseudo canon. And this in jumping back to the Sixth Doctor proper, he really didn't get a chance to get a lot of enemies. Except for one very important one, which was mentioned in the Name of the Doctor. That's Valyard, which is supposedly a evil in between regeneration of the Doctor. And a lot of people have always argued that that's not canon, even though it was on TV, or at least not canon in New Who, especially after the new Big Bang with Moffat. But yeah, no, Valyard, which is probably one of the most important things that came out of Colin's run, is now considered canon. Um, and like I said, it's really hard to say, what are the best episodes of Colin's run of the Six Sectors run. I mean, the first series before Charlie Time Lord, uh, there's some great moments and stuff like that, but it's really during that second series, which you can buy as a box set, Trial of the Time Lord, that, like I said, Colin really gets to shine. Though we do get, and I can't believe I almost totally forgot this, we do get the return of Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor as part of the anniversary um, with Colin. So it was really awesome to see Patrick Troughton back as the second Doctor. We had to see Jamie again, and yeah, it's a silly slash bad episode. Some people argue it's a great episode. Some people argue it's a good episode. I think it was just a fun episode. Not one of my favorites, but it was great to see the Doctor back, and it also adds to the thing of could there be more Second Doctor adventures than we actually know about, that he actually did become part of the secret Time Lord police that went around because he did age, and it ties back to the Three Doctors where he actually had information that the Third Doctor didn't have, and some gadgets and devices. So we get to get the Second Doctor during to come back during this run. And like I said, there's not actually a lot to say about the Sixth Doctor other than, listen to those Big Finish audios. Definitely watch Trial of the Time Lord because I think that's where he shines. You get the Second Doctor anniversary in there. But I think that's pretty much it, unfortunately, with the Doctor. So, this is a really short sort of primer on the Sixth Doctor because there's not a lot to work with. Like I said, 8 stories, 31 episodes, the best of it coming out of Trial of the Time Lord. And then you have the big finish. You have the comic adventures, which I have not read, so I can't speak on how good or bad those were. But I think that's pretty much it. I mean, this Doctor gets a bad rap, unfortunately. I say give him a try. He's something to be different than what you've seen in the past. And then, definitely listen to those Big Finish audios. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by this Doctor in the long run. So I think that's pretty much all I can say about the Sixth Doctor. So this is Gallifrey Pirate Radio signing off. Until next time, peace.